There's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Miami Dolphins. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. Start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They go to Johnson again. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
This 2nd and 4. Up the middle, Johnson. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Powerful running. He'll take this to the 46. You talk about this Miami defense. They come into this one ranked number 17, so just starting the bottom half of the league against the pass.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney.
He kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Call that a very strong gain of 24. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot.
And he's got Mooney in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Darnell Mooney, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. A good hold of these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
19 tight. 19 tight. Ready, ready?
They go play action here on first down. Completes this to Elijah Higgins. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The end result, 21 yards.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking right sideline, that's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Back to throw now on first down. And his throw is incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Here's 2nd and 10. A give up the middle to Johnson. And he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 16. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
We are watching a runner having a really nice game. Carrying it very well. Vision is excellent, but boy, look at the help he's getting. Offensive line, I think they're pretty eager to block for him.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Touchdown, Bears! Cole Kmet, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Bears have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. So a nice touchdown pass for the rookie there. And, you know, as they go down the stretch, look, they're not a playoff team. This is just confidence building and growth time for him, right?
Yeah, it's a game within the game, isn't it? Because every team wants to win all games on their schedule. But the development of this rookie quarterback is paramount for this team. So you're exactly right. Every rep, doesn't matter what the game, what the situation, what the score, valuable for him, valuable for his team as they look towards next year.
Running room at the 50. Look out. He might score. He will score. Touchdown, Miami. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. Taken at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. With the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
So the completion good for 7 there. And that will bring up 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. When you look at this defense, they currently sit at number 4 in the NFL in terms of stopping the run.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now a handoff. Johnson. And good work there in open space. And he's got this all the way down now to the 32. 52 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. On play action, they'll throw. Sliding out of the pocket. And this is caught. And he'll be out of bounds. Give him 32 on the play.
And what great recognition between a receiver and his quarterback, because he's going to recognize the trouble, and then he has two options.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bears have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Lutz with the extra point, and it's now 21-7. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Waddle is going to elect to not bring this out, and instead his guys will begin at the 25-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all. And if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Cox. This is caught inside the 15. It's another first down on a big gainer there, 33 yards.
He scored their touchdown earlier, and this had a chance to be another. This secondary scrambled for answers, looking at each other, trying to figure out who is going to put the clamps on this guy, because right now he's absolutely shredding them.
Here's Cox on 1st and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
2nd and 10.
Trap 60.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Panther 11. 11. 10 through 11. Ready.
They'll look to throw again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Tyreek Hill, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins have got it back to within a score. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it quickly.
Taking it right down Broadway. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 20-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll look to throw here on first down. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown as his guys are able to extend their lead. Lutz to try to add the PAT. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Mustang 19.
Looking to throw. Cox. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one, hence the decline.
Let's go now.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun, Cox. Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And there's a short throw. It's caught by Kmet. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down.
Misdirection's the key on this play. They line up with 3 receivers to the opposite side of the tight end, and they're all going to work their way across the field and let the tight end slip underneath against flow the other way. They're banking that he can get lost, and that's exactly what happened as they pick up a first down.
Yeah, that's just a solid, good physical run there as he motors for 9 yards.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Ball at the 8 here for 2nd and a yard, maybe a touch less. He'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Touchdown! From 8 yards out. And the Bears have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. On the return, Jalen Waddle from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21.
At their own 21-yard line.
Ready?
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it, at least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the 4th quarter, but you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's one interception, we're still in the first half, I'm going to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, you know, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be able to complete, make him feel good about himself, and continue to run your offense.
Hill going to go in motion right.
Go check. Go check. 19 Lions. 79 Broncos.
Cox now from the gun on 3rd down. He's got his running back out of the backfield. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Off play action. Cox. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Cox flushed out right. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
And this is going to be intercepted. And the Bears are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stuff. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon. And it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Back to throw again. He finds his man complete. That's Logan. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Okay, ready?
2 yards to go, second down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And firing a deep ball for Kmet. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll look to throw. He finds his man complete. It's Logan. And he will have the Bears first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. They'll set up to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described. A defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
This fielded right at the goal line. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Good push up front, and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
They run again with Logan. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback.
Let's go.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, you know, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
On first down, back to Achane. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Cox to throw on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
Well, if they have any designs of getting back into this football game in the second half, they're going to need to be much sharper offensively than they were on this opening possession. Not much happening here, and it'll lead to a 4th down.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Well, I think after that run, the defense getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll run it here with Logan. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. They give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be 3rd and about the length of the football. They run with Logan. He stiff-arms it. So he fought off the tackle, and that effort gives him the first before he's brought down. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. This is Logan, able to avoid him at the 40. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
From the 41, here's 2nd down at 7. On the carry, it's Logan. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 107 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bears are able to add on to that lead. Well, with that touchdown pass, I'm going to bring up a point from earlier in the year. Some of the fans were saying, when do we turn to the rookie? Well, he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I love the fact that the fans are bringing that up because I'm not the head coach, okay? So he's got to deal with it. But I think it's a legitimate question. With the way their season is going, I think now is the time to turn the page and let him get some starts before this season is over.
Waddle is going to elect to not bring this out, and instead his guys will begin at the 25-yard line.
Ready, set.
1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
3rd quarter from Miami. This is 2nd and 10.
18, Pioneer.
Throwing again. Cox. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way. That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They're going to look to throw. That's complete to Mooney. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A great effort there, with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. And the Bears take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. Lutz good on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Waddle is going to elect to not bring this out, and instead his guys will begin at the 25-yard line. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough, but... man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it. I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
Now left side on this, and I think the ball's out, and this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
I don't care what the scoreboard says, partner. You know who's winning this game right now?
Mother Nature?
Yes, indeed. Precipitation's winning in a big way. Sloppy. All these turnovers right now.
Yeah, well, this was the forecast. We got what was forecasted, and we've gotten a lot of turnovers. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Cox. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And you can tell just by looking at them that this offense is a frustrated unit. Things are really unraveling here, and as a head coach, time to earn your paycheck. You've got to find a way to keep it together as that brings up another 4th down.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. They have picked up right where they left off in half number 1, just looking really dominant, extending this lead.
And it's fun to see when teams actually do that, because so many times you go into the half after playing well, and you kind of relax a little bit. We've got this. We can kind of punch the button whenever we get good and ready. But for a team to keep the intensity and keep the execution up and come back after the half and play so well, that's actually really, really nice to see.
And a pedal to the metal. That's what we're seeing right now. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Another 1st down as he went right back to the same well, this time for 17 yards. Now back to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Logan. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him.
He's got him in, complete. Touchdown, Bears. Jarnell Mooney. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Bears get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big-time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly, and he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Waddle is going to elect to not bring this out, and instead his guys will begin at the 25-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Pressure, and he's taken down. The Bears sack. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Back to throw. Cox. And now here's another interception. Tyreek Stevenson picks it off. And the Bears are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion. That one, though, falls incomplete.
And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete.
Well, up big here in the fourth quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but, Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points. But they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up. But he certainly will have some explaining to do.
He's going to go up top again. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10.
Cup 19. Cup 19. Ready.
To throw again. Cox. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line.
70 Rangers, 70 Rangers.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Looking to throw. Cox. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill. Complete. Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They can definitely score on this drive, maybe even.
There he goes, left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A gain of 32 that time.
First down, Bears.
So the line of scrimmage all the way up to midfield now as they've got it 1st and 10. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he'll go right back to Allen. That's complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That's good for 28 yards.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. That is caught at the 7-yard line. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Following the penalty, it's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. They'll look to throw here. And he's got his man in stride, complete. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll give him a short yardage situation here for 2nd down.
A gain of 4 brings up 2nd down.
And now what the heck is this? A punt formation from the red zone? Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback.
Come on.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now Cox on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 22.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Ready.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And going deep for Hill.
Oh, and that is incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
79 Broncos.
They'll look to throw again. Open net is Waddle, complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a first down. Off play action. Cox. And boy, another ill-advised throw there, as that will wind up incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
On second down, a run by Achane.
And he's going to take this down close to a first down at about the Bears' 31. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll run for it with Achane. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Warrior 70.
They go play action here on first down.
And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
18 Rattler, 18 Rattler.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Sanders now to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead back now to 21. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the 4th quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
A throw over the middle, taken in. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15.
A gain of 15. First down, Bears.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Allen's got it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy, because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out, because this one, it was over a long time ago.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
60 Maverick. 18 Pioneer.
To throw is Cox. Throwing to start the drive. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel.